Do you want to earn your man card? We're going to tell you exactly how by hearing from famous fitness professionals in this series. So get ready. This one's going to blow your mind.
Welcome to the CrossFit Edwardsville Community Podcast, where we hear and learn from our coaches, CrossFitters, and Glen Ed community leaders. Now, here are your hosts, Dallas and Greg.
So you guys might have heard about the concept or the idea of earning your man card. And generally speaking, if somebody's talking about earning their man card, it's like, if you do this thing, you've proven yourself. It's usually like joking. It's usually like informal, but not always. Some people have actually established standards that you could do to earn your man card, which, means that you're manly, you're tough, you're capable, you're respectable, whatever, something like that, right? Like a common example of how this might look is, can you change the oil in your own car or change your own tires? That's how you earn your man card. Or there you go, you do a cold plunge. That's how you earn your man card, whatever, right? So just for fun, I went out and I searched the fitness influencer sphere to find famous fitness influencers and see what they say about earning your man card. This episode is going to follow Josh Bridges, a very famous CrossFitter. If you don't know about Josh Bridges, I pulled some basic bio data for you. Fun fact, he was born on July 4th, just like me, but a year before me in 1982. He's a former U.S. Navy SEAL, a former elite level CrossFit Games competitor, multiple CrossFit Games appearances. He finished second place at the CrossFit Games in 2011. He's a shorter athlete, but he's got exceptional engine and grit, lots of legendary performances, including on famous CrossFit workouts like the Murph workout. And now he's got a YouTube channel where he endorses, or he's created like the pay him, pay the man mindset. And he's got a Bridges Performance business where you can get workouts from him or get some pretty cool apparel. But Josh Bridges did a podcast where he talked about how you can earn your man card, and he outlined a whole bunch of criteria that he thinks physical fitness wise you need to be able to do in order to earn your man card. So let's jump into Josh Bridges, famous CrossFitter, his criteria for earning your man card. Get ready, because some of these are really going to blow your mind. First up, he says the first thing you got to do, be able to run a mile in 7 minutes. Run a mile in 7 minutes. Just to get an idea of what an average American man's running mile time is, I went to ChatGPT and Claude to see what ChatGPT and Claude have to say about that. Generally speaking, by the way, ChatGPT gave far more conservative and I think closer to accurate data for all the stuff we're going to talk about today. But here's what ChatGPT says about the average American man's running time. Average guy, somewhere between 9 to 10 minutes to run a mile. Somebody who's more beginner or deconditioned can run that between 11 and 15 minutes. Understand that this average, though, only includes people who actually show up. Most people are not even on the scoreboard. They don't even track any such data. So it's important to note that the data is slightly skewed in the direction of a better number than the average completely untrained person. So just get an idea. If the average person, average American man, can run a mile somewhere between 9 and 15 minutes, a 7-minute mile is a very, very impressive 1 mile run time. But that's the first criteria to earn your man card from Josh Bridges. Let's move to the second criteria. His second criteria is that you can back squat your body weight for for 10 reps. So for example, if you're a 200-pound male, you should be able to back squat 200 pounds for 10 reps. Let's see what the average American can do according to ChatGPT. According to ChatGPT, the average American man maxes their back squat somewhere between 135 and 185 pounds. And it notes here that many untrained men will struggle with 135 for reps. I generally agree. Many untrained men will struggle with 135 pounds for reps. I would argue that being at 185 for a back squat puts you significantly beyond the average person. And saying that anybody who's like totally new to squats can even do 135 is probably very generous. But here's what Claude had to say. This is where stuff gets like really crazy, because Claude almost like immediately loses all credibility with me, because Claude says that the average American man can squat 287 pounds, 287 pounds for a 1-rep max, which puts them at a roughly intermediate level. For a completely untrained man, they'll do something between 135 and 225. That too, I think, exceptionally generous, which means that Josh Bridges' standard for 10 times your bodyweight back squat, that's a very high standard for the back squat. But can you do that? Can you back squat your body weight for 10 reps? Let us know in the comments. Let's go to his next criteria. Also, 10 body weight bench presses, meaning, again, if you're a 200-pound male, that you can bench press 200 pounds for 10 reps. Based on my experience as a coach, I would say that'd be a very exceptional bench press for most people if we're not skewing in favor of elite CrossFitters. ChatGPT says the average bench press for a male is somewhere between 135 and 165. Again, that's for a 1-rep max, not for a 10. And for a lot of folks, here's what I do know. 70% of 1-rep max is fairly typical for people's. So if your 1-rep max is established, 70% of that number is probably a pretty good proxy for what your 10-rep max is. So then nobody in the average fitness level is hitting 10 times bodyweight bench presses. That'd be a very, very impressive number. But that is the third criteria to earn your man card from Josh Bridges. You notice a pattern that it seems perhaps that Josh Bridges' perspective is definitely skewed towards elite levels of fitness, given that maybe he's spent the last couple decades hanging out only around folks that have elite levels of fitness. Or maybe he just has a very, very high standard for earning the man card. Let's go to his next criteria. 10 times a 1.5x body weight deadlift. 10 reps of 1.5 times your body weight deadlift. So if you're a 200-pound man, that'd be a 300-pound deadlift for 10 reps. This is definitely, based on what I've seen amongst athletes, much, much more within reach or the wheelhouse for most folks, especially like relatively newer folks. A 1.5x bodyweight deadlift is not super out of reach. Doing it 10 times could be challenging, but I think for more fit people, definitely doable. According to ChatGPT, the average 1-rep max for a man is somewhere between 185 and 225. I feel like that is a fairly accurate statement amongst fit people. That's a pretty common number that I see amongst generally fit people that are deadlifting to a max. So that, one of the more winnable man cards. Let's move to his next one. He said, to earn your man card, you need to be able to do 10 pull-ups. 10 pull-ups. He didn't qualify if they had to be strict, if they had to be pull-ups versus chin-ups, if they had to be kipping or not kipping. He didn't say any of that. I can tell you definitively that the average American man can do 0 strict pull-ups, or hell, 0 unassisted pull-ups of any sort. That said, in CrossFit space, doing 10 pull-ups is an everyday occurrence for a lot of us because we actually train to get better at pull-ups. In CrossFit sphere, doing 10 pull-ups is very, very, very regular, but amongst the average American, definitely not. This, if I were to rate this, I'd probably put it at a 6 out of 10 for totally a winnable battle and doable for the average person with training and practice and consistency. That's an easier man card to earn. Let's go to his next criteria. Josh Bridges' next criteria is moving a sandbag that weighs the same as your body weight to your shoulder, or sandbag to shoulder, sandbag of your body weight. So if you weigh 170 pounds, sandbag to shoulder, 170 pounds. As somebody who's been messing with sandbags quite a bit the last year in preparation for the tactical games, I would say that's a really high standard also. Like, you have to be pretty freaking strong to move a sandbag that's the same weight as you to your shoulder. But I would say it is a very practical strength metric, because if you can do that, you can confidently say, I could carry somebody who weighs the same as me out of a burning building. I would get them to safety. Be able to shoulder a sandbag that weighs the same as you is a difficult thing to test, because you have to find a sandbag that weighs the same as you, and that can be very difficult to come by. But this is Josh Bridges' next criteria for earning man card. Let me know if you've achieved this. I've never even tried this because I haven't yet touched a sandbag that weighs the same as me, but that's something I want to be aspiring to try and do. See if I can earn my man card there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. We've got two more criteria for Josh Bridges' man card series. He says, in order to earn your man card, you need to be able to do 30 push-ups. 30 push-ups. That's an unbroken set, by the way, in one set at a time. He didn't specifically state the criteria or the qualifications for what would count as a push-up, but ChatGPT holds that the average American man will fall apart after 10 to 15 reps where good form is expected. And yes, I completely agree with that statement. I also agree that doing 30 unbroken push-ups is a very solid start. I think probably the most practical, the most doable man card item on the Josh Bridges list, because a reasonably well-trained man should be able to knock out 30 push-ups before coming out of a plank. And that's a good one. I think that once you hit 50 plus push-ups, you can start bragging about that. But in terms of earning a man card, I think 30 push-ups is a really fair, challenging, but very fair metric. So I agree with that one. Here's the last one, a 500-meter swim in 10 minutes. I will say this as somebody who's gone out and proactively addressed my swimming deficiencies. Swimming is brutally humbling. Even very fit people will gas out early. They'll have poor technique. They'll freak out because you're in water and the threats of drowning is perpetually there. I'll say that a sub 10 minute 500 meter is pretty freaking solid. Sub 8 is very good. I don't think that I could personally meet this 500 meter swim in 10 minutes standard, but I guess I haven't tried that specific thing either. Something I'm curious to try, see if I can earn my man card on that. But what do you think? Do you think that's a fair standard for earning your man card? A 500 meter swim in 10 minutes. So to recap what we've heard here today, earning your man card by Josh Bridges, elite CrossFitter. First, running a mile in 7 minutes. Second, back squatting your body weight on a barbell for 10 reps. Next, bench pressing your body weight with a barbell 10 minutes. 1.5x your body weight barbell for 10 reps of a deadlift. 10 pull-ups, sandbag to shoulder, a sandbag that weighs the same as your body weight. 30 unbroken push-ups, and a 500-meter swim in 10 minutes. Of all the people I scanned for man cards, Josh Bridges has the highest standards of them all. What are your thoughts? Do you feel like this is a fair list? Am I off base in saying that some of these are very, very, very hard to reach, or maybe out of reach entirely for some folks? We'd love to hear from you. Let us know which of these you think are accurate man card standards. We'll see you guys in the next episode, where we'll hear from another famous fitness professional what should be the criteria for earning your man card.
Thanks for listening to my dad's podcast. For more useful tools and guidance, go to CrossFitEdwardsville.com and feel free to like, share, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comment sections down below. See you in the next episode.